All right, you Toyota freaks, welcome back to another review. This is in fact the 1997 Toyota 4Runner with about 270,000 miles on it. So, hope you're ready for this one. And please do, because you do look very good today, please do subscribe to the channel, of course, if you want to see more high mileage reviews like this, of course, because you seem to really like these. Now, who do we have to thank for this little opportunity? It is in fact Cary Imports, of course. They are the ones who supplied us with many other vehicles, you know, like the Toyota RX 350 with 200k miles, which has just been sold now. I see it right now, it's all detailed up, and also a Lexus GS 350 with about 250,000 miles on it. So this is in fact another little high mileage review for you guys. So let's just get this bad boy out on the road and see what's what. Let's first of all, let's just kind of talk about the looks of this bad boy, because this is 1997. I'm not even going to pretend to you guys, it's not perfect or anything like that. It's got some little mishaps going on with it, like the paint on the front. It's got that whole situation going on, right, with the hood. $3,000 and some change. So, I mean, what are you going to do about it? You know what I'm saying? Just, it's a soldier, live with it. This is one of the few cars where I'm going to be like, you don't really need a warranty with this one. You know what I'm saying? It's just a soldier, It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Take it how it comes. It's just a little bulletproof machine, I guess. Let's get this thing out of the road here. Oh, what a champ. All right, anyway, the looks of this thing, right? 1997, sitting upright, 16-inch wheels, which I like, with the 265 wide tires all around. Yes, it's got not matching tires all around, I guess. It's got some Michelins in the front and some ambiguous tires in the rear. Whatever, though. Again, like I mentioned, it's a little bit of a soldier, of course. It's just got like this nice boxy look to it. It's that third generation, of course. This is kind of, they redesigned it, like 1995, and they kind of went for this more refined thing going on, you know what I'm saying? That's kind of what they were going for, and that's fine with me, because it still retains that boxy shape that we all love with the 4Runner, and it's still got that off-road personality to it, obviously, especially with the tires and stuff on it. These things came with 225 wide tires all around as like the standard tire size, but this is a nice little change. It looks nice, tall, and chunky. Not too tall, because it's very easy to still get in and out of, so I do like that. Now, let's talk about some more pressing matters here, like this drive. 2.7 liter 4 cylinders, what this vehicle currently has, and nice, well, 50 miles an hour. Nice, very good. It's not very fast, and yes, there's a V6 on option. I believe it's a 3.4 liter V6. That's not what this is. I don't really talk about this much, but they're technically supposed to not pull as hard as when they're new. Honestly, a lot of the older cars I've driven, I keep forgetting to mention this because I'm an idiot, but they pull extremely well, actually, like that Lexus GS 350. Granted, that's 2013. I'm just saying, though, it pulls just fine. Now, this 4-cylinder, of course, a little bit more. You got to provoke it a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? We still haven't hit 45 yet. Now we hit 45, and it's just like not the fastest thing in the world. But you know what? It started up, no issues. And it's 1997, over 250,000 miles, 270k miles, and it's performing just fine, honestly. For what this is, it's not struggling or anything like that. Going at about 50 miles an hour, and it's kind of downshifted here. But as a whole, dude, it's comical. It's got personality. There's nothing too crazy about it. Like the steering is surprisingly tight, you know what I'm saying? Yes, of course, there's body roll with this thing. It's a 97 4Runner, you know what I'm saying? The chassis, yes, they improved it, of course, over the second generation, but you'd be surprised how tight this feels with this type of mileage for this price point of like a little over $3,000. I mean, this is very impressive, honestly. It's riding like a cloud, if I'm honest. Now, I'm going to go over some trash bumps here in a bit, but it's almost kind of getting away from me here, doing over 50 miles an hour. I'm not even really realizing it. Everything about this, when you get on the throttle or whether you get on the brakes, it's like you don't feel it. You don't feel that braking sensation. I'm hard on the brakes now, and it's stopping fine. It's not like stopping like a Porsche or anything, but like it's fine. I have confidence driving this car. That's the number one most important thing for me with any car. As long as I feel confident in it, I don't care how old it is or how many miles it has on it. It's really irrelevant to me, because this is performing extremely well, if I'm going to be honest with you. It's not doing any stupid rev things or whatever. It's idling just fine, no issues. Idling about 700 RPMs, no issues, and the engine sounds fine. All of it. Now, yes, of course, you go up to the V6, even though there's not a huge power bump, it would be a smoother engine, but hey, that's the price reflects it. The look of it is probably the most important thing to a lot of people, and this has that going for it. I'm just very impressed with how tight the steering is. Transmission's not slipping or whatever. It's a 4-speed automatic. There was a 5-speed manual on option. However, with a car like this, manual, automatic, I really don't care. Let's see here. I like the size of the steering wheel. It's not too ridiculous or anything. The only real place I can see this struggling is out of the highway. But even then, it gets up to speed. It's not a big deal. Of course, it can make a bit of a racket. Of course, that's to be expected. It's not the most powerful thing, but it only weighs like 3,700 pounds with this 4-cylinder. So technically doesn't need a whole lot of power, but you can drive this thing foot to the floor all the time, let the thing rev out, and it's fun to make it do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not too worried about cops. You know what I'm saying? Like, the overall inertia of the car just gradually brings it to a stop. No big deal. You don't even have to use the brakes, to be honest with you. But it's driving smooth. There's nothing wrong with it. Only a real deficiency is the lack of power, which again, it's fun to wring out in its own little way. Of course, it's just an experience that, obviously a new 4Runner is not going to feel like this, of course. No new car is going to have this type of feel. But it's not a huge vehicle by any means. It's only like, 176 inches long. It's not very long. It's nice and boxy. And it's very easy to drive. Anybody can get in here and not be intimidated by driving this thing. You don't need a billion sensors to drive this car. It's just nice, easy. It's like a fishbowl in here. No issues with this thing. Just the big kind of tires this thing has on it. I'm not scaring the pedestrians here. I have enough braking power, but you don't actually really need super powerful brakes for this thing because it just naturally comes to a stop when you let off the throttle. It doesn't have a whole lot of power. It just a lot of rolling resistance against this thing because it's just a big box, I guess, on wheels. It's just nice little charismatic little vehicle to kind of whip around in. And I'm not just gassing this thing up for no reason. I'm just being genuinely honest about this one. I thought I was going to have to roast this more than I had to, but still haven't hit 50 yet. All right, just past 50. Nice. Going over some kind of more trash bumps here. It's soaking up beautifully, and obviously this thing is riding on 16-inch wheels. Yes, there's tire noise, road noise, all that good stuff. It's not in a ridiculous way. It's in a very refined manner, of course, but it exists and it's fine. I have, again, no real issues driving this car. I'm gonna bend this corner here. I don't feel like it's about to flip over or anything like that. I get it, it's a Toyota. Yeah, you expect it to age really well, but dude, you gotta... This is 23 years old. It's as old as I am. You know what I'm saying? This thing's aged better than me. This is driving extremely well. This is pure trash, the roads I'm driving on. It's soaking it up beautifully well. That's the thing with these older cars. They always come with these smaller wheels, and it's great. So I'm testing out this handling here. Aside from the roll, you'd be surprised by the amount of grip that this thing has. The owners at that dealership, they're right. Just close your eyes figuratively. And when you drive this, it's just there's truly nothing wrong with it. Braking-wise, driving-wise. This is an older SUV. I was really kind of concerned about, is this thing gonna tip over on me when I drove around that circle there? You know what I'm saying? Because I don't drive on that circle slowly. The worst bump right there, and it just soaked it up. No issues whatsoever. Handling turns, curves, all my little, feisty little inputs. Handling all that really well. Literally the only complaint I have, and it's not really even a big deal to me, it's not the fastest thing in the world. It's one of the slowest cars I've ever driven. However, it's fun in its own little strange way. Just bended that corner right there. Foot completely to the floor. Thankfully, it's just a 4-speed automatic, so there's not really any gears for it to jump down. So after a slight delay, it gives me pretty much the exact gear that I want. There's hardly any creaks and rattles in this thing whatsoever. Yeah, dude, consider me impressed. This is another, you can add this to the repertoire of reviews I've done where I've been extremely impressed with just how these older vehicles have been holding up. So, all right then, well, there you go. That's pretty much my take on driving this thing. No real complaints from me, honestly, and I'm not just trying to sell you on this car. I don't get anything out of you coming here and buying this thing. It's just it's not even just for 270,000 miles. It's just as a vehicle, it's just driving really nicely, you know, like handling those curves and stuff. There are some new cars that absolutely just fall apart when I take it on those circles, you know what I'm saying? So we'll see 300 Benz try and drag race me, you know. Of course, I'm gonna take it because I'm not afraid of the throttle pedal. Sensational. Anyway, as I proceed to drive back to the dealership, let's get into the interior of this vehicle. Now, again, I'm not gonna lie, it's not perfect. Of course not. You know, it's just driving wise, it's great, but you know, it's got its own flaws. You know, exterior wise, the paint, the little dent on the back of this thing. You know, the complete interior of this thing, it's all ripped up. You know, on the side bolster here for the driver's side, and a little foam is kind of coming out of it due to the age and the mileage of this thing. I completely forgive it because overall, it's such a plush experience. Like these seats, dude, like these cloth type of seats, phenomenal. I absolutely love it. Oh, another thing about driving this car, it's not like tracking, you know, in a weird way or anything like that. It tracks straight, no issues with it. There's no weirdness with a vehicle of this type of mileage. But anyway, back to the interior. Yeah, the seats are extremely comfortable. Turn signals don't work. It just kind of like short-circuited on me and just making some weird noises. Again, you know, it's not perfect. It's got a really nice turning circle, actually. Sorry I keep getting distracted, but you know, the steering wheel, I think I talked about in the driving. It's a great size. It's actually held up extremely well. It's a nice leather steering wheel, of course. Put it into park, it doesn't like, you know, like roll about or anything like that. It's just nice and reliable, everything here. No stupid check engine lights or anything like that. Again, like I mentioned, no issues idling or anything like that. Very basic, generic kind of gauge cluster here going on. These doors, they are very light, actually, surprisingly. They're not like super heavy or anything like that. So it makes getting in and out of this thing very easy, not a big deal. You have automatic windows for just down, just for the driver's side here. It's not double pane glass or anything like that, but it's surprisingly very refined in here. It's not super loud or anything like that, even with these tires and all that stuff. Again, these little, you know, whatever wood panel trimming thing, it's, you know, not really held up the best or anything like that. It's peeled out in certain areas, and you know, again, that's predictable. You expect that sort of thing. It's a very much base model vehicle. It doesn't really have any options in it, so it's literally like the most reliable version of this vehicle. Mirrors go up and down, no issues there. I mean, all the functions work. Decent amount of space in the door pocket for a water bottle or something like that. Got a little sound system thing in here. Sounds fine. I mean, it works. It's got its own custom little Alpine unit thing up here. It works. It's wired up just fine. No issues. Your four-wheel drive control thing, that little lever right here. The gear shifting lever feels just fine. No issues. It clicks into gear. Fine. No issues. Physical parking brake and the light comes on. Everything just works. Again, you know, tightly put together. I really like the 90s build quality of Toyota Lexus cars. It's just very solid in here. That's why there's no real creaks and rattles with this thing. You know, there's like storage space in here, but it's like kind of like useless storage space, I guess. I mean, there's like this little tray thing here. A couple of buttons here. I'm too scared to press it. I don't want to break anything. You have very, very simple climate control. Obviously, there's no infotainment. There is actually a clock in here that is 4 minutes behind, but that's okay. The climate control, the climate vents here are kind of jacked up. It's not really, you know, it's kind of broken, I'm going to be honest. But hey, it's still blowing cold AC, so that's good. Glove box is actually a pretty decent size. You can put some stuff in there. This little center armrest, got some space in here. Again, if you just give it some TLC, you know, kind of reupholster some of this stuff, vacuum this thing out, clean it up a little bit. Dude, this thing is virtually, it's pretty damn perfect, actually. There's no sunroof or anything, just good. Helps with the rigidity of this thing, so that's fine. There's no headrests in the back, or I think there are. It's just down at the moment. But anyway, I fit perfectly in the back, of course. I'm 5'11". I fit in the front. The driving position is actually perfect, by the way. I have no issues with that. Yeah, again, getting in and out is very easy because of the size, and it does have like the running board thing on the side as well, so that's great. Again, super comfy seats in this thing. These cloth seats are absolutely phenomenal. You can do hella miles in this thing. Just keep your foot down in the gas pedal and you are good to go, my friend. So that's great. Very nice. Slightly stained, but it's okay. You have plenty of space in the trunk, of course. Massive vehicle. So fit 5 people. Do a very fun kind of journey in this thing. Have everybody's stuff in the trunk. It's great. And even though it's a 4-cylinder, it sounds fine. It revs out smooth, 5,500 RPMs. shifts great, it doesn't skip, bounce, do jumping jacks, nothing. It's just a working automobile with 270k miles on it. They did some nice little tweaks for the third gen with the diffs. The center diff thing, helps you to drive around in four-wheel drive without any issues on solid tarmac or whatever. It's got a little rear diff thing as well. It's a legitimate 4Runner. It's a base model 4Runner in this case, 4-cylinder, all that stuff. It's very reliable. So yeah, $3,000 and some change. If you're interested, it's located here at Cary Imports, but that'll pretty much do it for this little review. I really do hope that you enjoyed this little take of the 270k mile 4Runner. If you wanted me to do more reviews like this, please comment below. If you're an owner of this car, let me know how it's held up for you, whether you have a V6 or a four-cylinder version. Please let me know, but thank you again for watching. Take care and goodbye.